So these last few days have been kind of hard. I've really had to push myself, drag myself more like it out to do my walks. And um, part of what happened was this past week, instead of walking 5 times during the week, I only did like 4. And part of it was kind of beyond my control. One day it was, I had a lot of commitments, and they're just I wasn't able to take. We were still having the 100-degree heat index, and I wasn't able to get my walk in the morning because of some appointments. And and then the next day I wasn't able to walk because I had our power had gone out, and not wanting to risk going into AFib again by not having my CPAP, I went to stay at my in-laws' house, and very grateful for that. It meant that I did get some sleep, and I got to sleep with my CPAP, but going over there later in the evening and then sleeping in a strange place meant I didn't get as good a night's sleep as I should have. And so by the time I got home the next day, I was tired, and just didn't feel it was wise to walk when I was going on the last couple of nights for various and sundry reasons, not having enough sleep. So I thought, no problem. So that's my 2 days for the week, and then a day or two after that, I just wasn't feeling right. I had a day where I was just feeling off. I was still in normal heart rhythm, thank goodness, but I just kept feeling dizzy every now and then, and just not right. And as much as I wanted to go walk to kind of keep in the flow and the rhythm of it, because for me, one of the biggest dangers is if I don't do it often enough, I'm going to get out of the habit of doing it or having it in my schedule, and it'll be a slippery slope, and I'll be walking less and less. So I really wanted to go that day, but body wisdom won out. Little voice in my head kept saying, no, don't do it. You need to rest today. Something's off. You're not feeling quite right. So I didn't walk that day, and I'm glad I didn't. And then the next day I woke up feeling good again. So, okay. But then what I found is then that next day when I was time to go walk again, it was really hard. It wasn't like starting over, but it was just really hard to get out there and do it. And the next day was the same. And today was the same, even though it's now cooler. We've had a break in the hot weather. I mean, it's still hot, but it's not over 100. It was just really hard. And one of the things I don't think people realize is, of course, getting started in the first place can be one of the hardest things, and establishing the pattern. But another thing that can be challenging is once you've established the pattern, and especially if you've been making lots of great progress like I have. I've lost over 45 pounds as a result of the diet and lifestyle changes, which include walking. Feeling great. Kind of start to take that for granted a little bit. And then going from when I first got home from the ICU, not being able to walk more than 10 feet across the room without being short of breath and needing to sit down, having to literally sit down 2 to 3 times and rest in the middle of taking a shower. That's what it was like in the beginning, and now I'm up to walking over 40 minutes. Usually 5 times a week, but it was only 4 last week, and that's another point where it gets hard, because there can be a tendency to want to slack up a little bit and go like, oh, I'm making such great progress. I don't have to do that, I can take some time off. But again, it's a slippery slope, especially for me and my personality. I know that if I start allowing too many days off, then that'll start to become, the exception will become the rule, and I'll be missing more and more days. And One of the things that, apart from having sleep apnea for decades and not realizing it, and having fatigue slowly creep in, and weight gains start to happen as a result of that, which reinforces the being out of shape and blah, blah, blah. Because there was a point back in my 30s and 40s, particularly my 40s, where I hiked a lot. And then when things started getting bad and the fatigue and the exhaustion, and then I got really out of shape, and I kept chalking my fatigue and exhaustion up to, I'm just really out of shape, and now I'm overweight. I had this attitude and approach, like many people do, of I'll start tomorrow. I'll start walking tomorrow. I'll start eating differently tomorrow. And the next day, it's the same thing. Oh, I'll start tomorrow, because you keep thinking this illusion of, I've got plenty of time. Plenty of time to get back into shape. Plenty of time to change my habits. Plenty of time to get healthier. Knowing that the body does have remarkable healing capabilities. And then I got a wake-up call this past January that I had run out of time when I ended up in the ICU. And realizing that it couldn't wait until tomorrow, that I had to start right then, getting back in the habit of a healthier lifestyle. And that included exercise. And so what I'm mindful of is, it's really tempting right now, particularly on days where I'm kind of low energy, and I don't really feel like it because there are other more interesting things I'd like to do. And I'm not going to lie, I don't like to sweat, I don't like to be sweaty. I'm now realizing some of that's probably part of my neurodivergent thing. I don't like the feel of it. I definitely don't like having to breathe hard and breathe heavy and exert myself. So when I've made so much progress, feeling much better, bringing lots of metrics for measuring my health, blood sugar, lipids, all that kind of thing, back into normal parameters, losing so much weight, being able to exercise so much, there's a real tendency, there's a real urge to kind of like, well, I don't have to, I can skip, it's okay. Look what I've done, I can do it again. And could I do it again? Yeah, but I don't have that kind of time. I'm 60 years old, and I want to enjoy the rest of my time on this planet. I want to feel good. I don't want to be dragging myself through my days, exhausted, not able to really enjoy this sweet little life that I have. I'm very grateful for many of the things that I have in my life. And I want to enjoy those things. And part of that is taking care of myself. So that's what helps keep me motivated during these challenging times now, where it's like I've made lots of progress, so I can cut myself some slack. And yeah, no. I mean, granted, I have to listen to my body. And so, that third day I missed last week, it was necessary, because I'd already missed 2 days, but then I had a day where I was just off, and my body was like, don't. And my body telling me don't is very different from, I just don't wanna. So another way that I keep myself on track is literally by keeping track. I have an exercise log where I keep track of on which days did I walk, where did I walk, how far did I walk. Well, I do it not by distance, I do it by time. A lot of the places that are close to me to walk, they're up and back kind of walks. So I will set a timer for X number of minutes. And then when the timer goes off, I turn around and come back, and I set a stopwatch for the way back to see how long it took me to come back. You may not have to track it quite in that much detail. Seeing how long it's taking me helps give me another metric of, oh yeah, it's not taking me as long to walk back, so I'm getting, more fit. And over time, I gradually keep adding time. But definitely keeping track of when I walk. And I like to keep track of where I walked as well. Because they're different, they're different, walking on a place like the C&O Canal towpath, that's all nice and flat. That's different than walking on the Appalachian Trail where it's on the mountain and up and down. So it helps keep me motivated, it helps keep me on track, it helps keep me honest, because memory is a funny thing. You might think, oh yeah, I've been doing this, 5 days a week, no problem for the last 3-4 weeks. And if you were to look back and go, oh wait a minute, that week I only did 4 days. All right. Well, yeah, I might have done 5 days that week, but part of that week was the last 2 days of the week, so I need to walk the next 3 or 4 days to keep it. It helps keep me on an even keel, and planning my schedule, because I do plan my schedule around, particularly during that heat, that high heat scorcher thing we had going on in July. I would look ahead at the weather forecast and go, okay, these days are all going to be over 100-degree real feel. So I need to make sure that I plan my week so that I can get my walks in the morning. And if I have some things that have to be appointments that have to be made, that morning's the only option, I know to limit how much of that I do in that week. So it's a management thing, but it helps keep me on track and focusing on not going down that slippery slope of missing more and more and more and more days, until instead of walking 5 days a week with the occasional 4 day, I'm walking 3 days a week, which would still be good, don't get me wrong, but walking 3 days a week with sometimes it just being 2 days a week. And then falling into like, oh, well, I'm getting out of shape again, so let's back up and not walk as much or as long. And, because I've got time, and I really don't have that kind of time anymore. And even if I did, my philosophy now is feel how different I feel, how much more energy I have to enjoy the pleasant things in my life. Yeah, why would I want to wait? And it's not that walking, I enjoy being in nature. That part is pleasant. I just don't like the sweaty part. And the breathing hard part. It's not fun. But it's an important part of the conditioning. So, wherever you are on your journey, whether it be a physical healing journey, or a mental and emotional or spiritual one, find ways to keep yourself on track so that you keep your good habits, that you keep moving forward each day, and that you do give yourself some grace when you need to. When you do need that break, you can take it, but you have a way of keeping back on track, keeping yourself on track. So yeah, I took a break today, but I know that means tomorrow I need to get back and I need to take my walk. And yeah, so be kind, be gentle, and find ways to keep yourself accountable and keep yourself moving in a good direction. That's it for today.